Second Life is a 3D virtual world where people can utilize the domain for an educational setting or work environment. It can also be used as a social or networking platform. There is a wealth of information accessible through countless resources that are available within Second Life. During the fall 2013 semester at the University of Texas at Brownsville, one of the requirements for students in an educational communications class was to research the Second Life virtual world for educational purposes. The students were asked to form teams, create personal avatars, and work together to locate and research a variety of educational domains within Second Life. Team 1 met within Second Life on several occasions to explore which virtual islands they wanted to introduce to the rest of the class. They selected Health Info Island and Virtual Ability Island. In their exploration of these islands, they were able to network with people who serve as volunteers that supply information to visitors of the islands. Through Second Life chat and email communications, the team was able to arrange a guest speaker named Emmy Cappellini, who graciously facilitated a field trip tour for the class. At the beginning of the field trip, the class gathered outside the Consumer Health Library. As Emmy guided the class through the islands, the class of avatars walked to the Research Pavilion, the Herb Garden, the Farmers Market, and the Path of Support areas. Emmy provided a generous amount of information which a visitor of the island could utilize and apply to their personal health management. After the tour of Health Info Island, the class followed Emmy across a bridge which leads to Virtual Ability Island. Virtual Ability Island is a simulated domain which serves as a disability support resource and community. Within this island are interactive exercises which visitors can utilize to practice moving their avatar through Second Life. Second Life users can learn how to walk, run, fly, jump, communicate, and express themselves free from judgment. There are numerous actions and behaviors that users can direct their avatars to perform, which can make their avatar seem more lifelike. Some examples of these gestures are clapping, whistling, and pointing at a specific object, and even dancing. Users can also express emotion through their avatars, such as laughing, shrugging, and sticking out their tongue. Where users may potentially face hardships in First Life because of personal disabilities, they can feel comfortable interacting with others in Second Life and express themselves freely, while also taking advantage of great resources and educational opportunities. At the conclusion of the field trip, the class agreed overall there is a wealth of information available within Second Life, and the user's anonymity can be as open or as protected as they wish while participating in utilizing these resources, which may not always be possible in First Life.
Second Life is a 3D virtual environment created by Linden Lab in 2003. 1 million active users log on and inhabit this world every month, with 13,000 new users or newbies dropping by just to see what Second Life has to offer them. The residents of Second Life create representations of themselves called avatars. The avatars can communicate and interact with others within the virtual world, making Second Life an excellent place to learn and practice public speaking. Avatars communicate through chat, instant messaging, and audio, which allows residents to have a voice. In Second Life, the avatars can go to college classes, conferences, social gatherings, concerts, and synopsis, giving every resident an opportunity to not only listen to debates or speeches, but also to participate. One such opportunity is the Public Speaker School of Learning, founded by Johnny Trammell. This group conducts regular lessons learning the finer points of speech making. They concentrate on presentation skills, listening skills, leadership skills, and ways of dealing with nervousness. Another group similar to this is Toastmasters, founded by Ralph Smedley. Toastmasters' mission is to provide a supportive and relaxing environment where every member can develop communication skills to foster personal growth. They meet every Saturday via Skype in the Jenny Business Center. These public speaking classrooms enable residents to feel more comfortable than in a face-to-face setting, therefore permitting inhibited public speakers to have the confidence to express their ideas. Virtual Ability Island is a site that provides new residents with a wide range of disabilities to have access to a friendly and supportive environment. It helps incorporate these new residents into Second Life and provides continuous support. This site helps new residents learn how to move, speak, participate in other activities, and give back to the community within Second Life. Virtual Ability has monthly seminars that encourage residents to speak about various topics such as self-advocacy, domestic violence, and the disability rights movement. Also, there are areas for group therapy sessions, weekly podcast, and self-help sessions. One amazing site is Vassar Island. The island is the virtual campus of Vassar College, created as an experiment to determine if Second Life could enhance learning. This island contains the close to real-life replica of the Sistine Chapel. It was created to introduce residents to the arts and architectural design. Residents must sign a code of conduct before entering the chapel in order to preserve the reverence of this place. Also located on this island are virtual educational classrooms, castles, and areas for breakout sessions and amphitheaters, all of which can provide the residents with ample opportunities for practicing their public speaking skills. Second Life offers great opportunities for informal and formal educational environments. Residents can engage in online discussion without hesitation or fear of retribution. Second Life supplies an environment with a sense of immersion, presenting excellent opportunities for role-playing and public speaking. Second Life was created as a social networking platform, enabling residents to socially interact. Establishing informal relationship with other learners and with subject matter experts can initiate a community where learning is lifelong.
Public speaking isn't something that comes natural to everyone. Some people can handle speaking to a crowd of people while others experience anxiety in this type of setting. Some people may experience anxiety based on deep-rooted self-confidence issues, or some people may experience a fear of how others may view them. Another factor of public speaking would be that a person feels that they are not worthy for themselves. Second Life is a virtual world that gives these people the opportunity to give a speech to a crowd of people without having to feel personal anxieties. Let's say that a person with a slight speech problem like stuttering might not feel comfortable giving a speech in a crowd of people because of their stuttering issue. They might think that the people listening to them might become critical of them. However, Second Life may help them with this issue. Second Life can help them gain the confidence that they need, and maybe later on in the future, they may gain the confidence and ability to actually give a public speech within a real-life setting. Second Life not only helps those who have fear or disability, it can also help those who have busy schedules. It gives the opportunity to people who work for large corporations that are unable to attend a face-to-face meeting. They can use Second Life to have their meetings. Mary Jane is a 20-year-old female with a disability. She is a current college student that lacks basic social skills. She has not always been able to socialize with other students her age. She has experienced criticism in social environments, so she tends to retreat and be alone most of the time. She suffers from having poor self-esteem and does not have a strong support system in her home or social life. She feels that she doesn't have anyone to talk to about her troubles. She doesn't know how to express her feelings because she has never had the opportunity. One day, one of Mary Jane's instructors pulled her aside and began to ask her about her life situation. The instructor inquired as to why Mary Jane isolated herself so much. The instructor explained that she had been observing Mary Jane for a while and noticed that Mary Jane could possibly need some assistance. Mary Jane explained to her instructor about the disability she had and how she was never been given the opportunity to express her thoughts or feelings. She expressed that she is very shy due to her disability and has experienced being made fun of. Her instructor began to share some information about Second Life in hopes that Mary Jane would potentially use a virtual world as a resource to assist her with her issues. Mary Jane was confused at first and didn't understand what her instructor was telling her. One afternoon, Mary Jane went to her instructor's office and asked her about Second Life. She wanted to get more information about it and how would this help her out. Her instructor began to tell her that Second Life was a virtual world for persons like her that have disabilities or are just afraid of socializing. She told her that she could guide her and help her get started. Mary Jane took into consideration her instructor's advice. Her instructor recommended her to start with Virtual Ability Island. This island would assist her greatly, especially with her disability. She explained to her that this island would teach her the basics of Second Life. It would teach her how to walk, talk, fly, participate, and how to get around. She also told her that the atmosphere was very friendly and she would feel very comfortable there. Mary Jane began her tour with Virtual Ability Island. She logged on every day and began to meet new people from Second Life. She realized that there were so many others that had the same difficulties as her. She began to meet persons that she could relate to. Mary Jane continued with Virtual Ability Island until one day she decided to go outside the box. She began to look for Second Life areas that she could teleport in. She finally did and felt very comfortable. She began to speak in public in different Second Life islands and began to feel good about her participation within Second Life. She decided one day to stand up and speak to a group of persons about what she had discovered. As she stood up to give her speech, she just kept telling herself, "It's just like Second Life." She gave her speech perfectly, and afterwards she was so proud of herself that she could hardly believe how much progress she had made. Mary Jane was so glad and thankful that Second Life was introduced to her. She can now go into a world that she expresses her feelings and be able to get feedback from persons that understand her. She now feels comfortable speaking to a crowd of people. Second Life helped Mary Jane realize that there was more to life than she expected.
Learning can come in so many forms, and the scenario posited by our project could take the place of many types of learning environments. Public speaking in Second Life could be a viable solution for homeschooled high school students, higher education, and even corporate training. However, the specific student scenario we chose is unique in the approach to learning it takes, as it is an attempt to overcome fear of public speaking, and is used as a bridge to help the painfully shy or socially anxious make connections not only in the virtual environment, but also extend skills learned into the real world environment. With this in mind, careful consideration can be given to learning theories and the functions and limitations of a simulated environment. The power of a virtual environment like Second Life is its opportunities related to social and transformative learning theories. As Bandura notes in social learning theory, learning could be exceedingly laborious, not to mention hazardous, if people had to rely solely on the effects of their own actions to inform them what to do. No man is an island, and very little learning is done in a vacuum. Second Life offers many opportunities for residents to learn from each other, a necessity in building confidence in public speaking. Bandura continues, noting that almost all human behavior is learned through observation, and that information is coded for use in later experiences. Since the ultimate goal of our scenario is for the user to build confidence in public speaking, not just within the context of virtual environments, but also in their real lives, this kind of experiential coding would be very valuable. Another beneficial characteristic of a virtual environment like Second Life is the ability to model oneself after each other. When residents are given the opportunities to learn from others and teach others through modeling behavior, change can be less intimidating. Social learning theory offers the platform for a transformative learning experience. Transformative learning theory is about changing personal paradigms in adult learners, but this can also include adolescents. As explained by Mesereau and Taylor in Transformative Learning and Practice, this type of learning typically follows a 10-phase process that begins with a disorienting dilemma, in the case of our scenario, glossophobia or a fear of public speaking. This phase is often followed by self-examination accompanied by feelings of shame or even guilt. Notable here is the step in the cycle that requires implementation. Without this step, the building of confidence that leads to a moment of gestalt where a new sense of self can be formed does not occur. With implementation in mind, the good instructional designer leads to find ways to build the learner's confidence in a low-pressure but functional way with practice that use transferable skills and activities. This is uniquely possible in a Second Life simulation, but by their very nature, simulations respond in dynamic and rule-based ways to users' responses, allowing users to experience situations very similar to life and can build far transfer of knowledge important for such a task as public speaking. However, to make this kind of learning stick, the lessons cannot be nebulous, discovery-based, or game goal-oriented. These kinds of lessons may be enjoyable, but are inefficient and often counterproductive. It is for this reason that a good training method would need to be somewhat structured and most certainly incorporate mentoring by more experienced group members. This would provide the types of training wheels and adaptability that make simulation successful as students move from mentee to mentor and gain confidence that can be transferred into their lives and can transform their self-perception in a meaningful way.
This area is the welcome part of Health Info Island. As you can see, it is very open and the colors are soft and earthy, which allude to the idea of a tranquil and user-friendly space. These colors tones are advantageous in providing an ideal environment for learning. The openness provides the student with the idea that their ideas can be shared and will be respected. Providing such an area makes it an ideal place where to discuss ideas related to health and well-being. The Health Info Island area provides various areas in which all types of public speaking and learning can take place. The first area has the seating arranged in a semicircle with a projector and screen area in the front. Here we can see a class discussion is taking place and they are discussing the idea of health in the future. They are not able to practice audio, visual, and speaking abilities within their educational journey at becoming better health providers. Another area within Health Info Island is the small classroom setting. In this space, the main speaker can provide information on large visual charts, as the one shown here, or they can have intimate conversations regarding health issues they are dealing with. As they brainstorm ideas in this intimate learning setting, they will navigate uncharted areas within the health field. In the formal classroom setting on Health Info Island, instructors provide visual material including pictures. The way the classroom is set up, instructors can apply the idea of small groups in which students will be given specific problems to solve concerning health issues. The students will have to recognize the problem at hand, discuss ways of solving it, examine ways which will be best for the patient, and prepare a presentation of the issue and how they came to their conclusion for the group's benefit. The Herb Garden at Health Info Island provides a perfect learning environment for hands-on learning. It also provides an area where future and current medical practitioners can experiment with the idea of introducing natural elements into the healing process. Through the process of discovery, students will come to new conclusions concerning natural and synthetic medications. At the end of the study, they will provide their facts and conclude that their information is factual. In providing this information, they will develop into leaders of health. Thank you.